Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Wednesday just after Mikel Arteta has been speaking during his press conference ahead of Thursday night's game against Wolves. So I thought I'd pop on, talk a little bit about what he had to say, some of the key points, and look ahead to that Wolves game. Apologies, I haven't been around the last couple of days, joys of half term. So I've had my kids running around the place and it's not been that easy to get any spare time. So apologies for that, but they are at Legoland today with my wife. So plenty of time to relax, sit back and record a video talking about all things Arsenal as we gear towards Thursday night's game at the Emirates. Another massive game, another cup final for Arsenal. 15 to go now. Can they get themselves over the line? This is going to be a big one. In terms of the race for the top four, a win for Wolves will see them move ahead of Arsenal. That's what is at stake on Thursday night. Arsenal obviously winning 1-0 at Molineux just a couple of weeks ago. Adding a little bit extra spice to this one because we all know Wolves weren't too happy with those celebrations, although they were barely even, they were just normal celebrations. So I don't know why they were quite so wound up about it, but there's no doubt it will probably add a little bit of spice to the game. And if Arsenal can get themselves over the line, and this one, it will cap what has been a very good week. It would be 9 points from a possible 9. And will give themselves a really good shot in terms of the top four. Mikel obviously speaking about the top four during the press conference. He was asked about the importance of the game and how much he would love to be back in the Champions League, that sort of stuff. But he was also asked about his new contract, or a potential new contract. Now, I'm sure you've seen there's some stories doing the rounds at the moment about the potential of Mikel Arteta signing a new deal. His current deal runs until 2023. And he was asked about those reports about a new deal. And he said, listen, it's just, I'm really happy here. And my aim is just to build with the club a winning team, a team that people enjoy watching, that they can identify with, and that can transmit what we want football-wise and as an organisation. So not giving too much away in terms of what is going on there. We all know that he did travel to the US relatively recently to just sit down with Stan Kroenke and spend a couple of days with him. Now, as far as I was aware, that wasn't just down to one specific topic. It was to do with a lot of things. The transfer window was open at that time. We still had about a week of it to go, didn't we? Or just under a week of it to go. But yeah, I understand that it wasn't, he didn't just go over there for contract talks or something like that, but there's no doubt that would have been discussed. The future would have been discussed. You can't imagine he would sit there with the owner for a couple of days and that wouldn't be discussed. He was also then asked in the press conference, obviously there's progress being made here. We're seeing that on the pitch. We're seeing that with results and what you've done with the squad. Would the natural next step be for you to extend your stay? And he said, I just think things will happen naturally as they have happened over the last few months, and our focus has to be on delivering what we want. I am very happy with the direction we are taking. I'm not happy with where we are based on where we want to be, that's for sure, because we want to be competing and challenging with the best teams in the world in consecutive seasons. We are not there yet, but I think the team is evolving in the right direction. The project and the phases that we have proposed, they are happening and there are positives to take, but we are not there yet. Now, this is why I just think I'm convinced he'll sign a new deal and Arsenal will offer him a new deal. I just don't see how, this project, whatever you want to call it, it's been going on for a couple of years now, to suddenly basically rip it all up and start again and put a new man in. I just don't see it, barring an unbelievable collapse between now and the end of the season. Arsenal losing all 15 games, something like that. I just can't see how they're not going to agree a new deal for it. And I know a lot of anti-Arteta fans, and there are plenty of them out there, I know there are, won't be too happy with that, but I just don't see how much Arsenal have bought into this project, how much they've allowed Arteta to mould this squad the way he wants, bring in the players that he wants, and they are players that he wants. A lot of clubs, it's been brought in by everyone else and not the manager, but Arteta very much had a massive say in who signs for this club. And also allowing him to do what he's done with the squad and getting people out, backing him over Aubameyang, all those sort of things. Ozil, to then just not give him a new contract, it just wouldn't make any sense. So I'd be stunned if he doesn't sign a new deal at some point. I don't know when it will happen. It might be the summer. The logical timing of it would be at the end of the season. But I don't know. But I'd just be really, really surprised. Arsenal have bought so much into this project. They've put so much into it. And they're happy with what he's doing. There's no doubt about that. Everyone loves what Mikel Arteta's doing behind the scenes at Arsenal. There's no doubt about that. They're very impressed. They really like him as a manager and as a man. And so I just can't see it not happening. I just think he'll sign a new contract. I know, like I said, a lot of anti-Arteta, the Arteta out fans won't be happy with that, but I know a lot of fans will be happy with that because they do trust in the sort of direction that Arsenal are heading under Arteta. So I just can't see him not signing a new contract. It wouldn't make any sense on so many levels to me. Barring, as I said, an unbelievable collapse between now and the end of the season when things get so toxic that it just makes it impossible to keep him. But I don't see it happening. I think Arsenal are going to get, I don't think they're going to fire him if Arsenal, or not give him a new contract if Arsenal don't get top four. Put it that way. If Arsenal finish 5th or 6th this season, I think he'll get a new contract. If they tank the next 15 games and end up finishing 12th, then yeah, maybe not. But I don't think Arsenal can do that. I think they're going to get enough points to certainly have a respectable league finish this season. Whether that be Champions League or just outside, it remains to be seen. But for me, I think Arteta will sign a new contract, and I think it's the right move. Personally, I think he's doing some good things, and I think the club is beginning to get back on a good direction. Certainly, as he says himself, an awful lot of work still to do, and you can't be happy with the fact that Arsenal are just milling around sort of 5th, 6th. You want them to be back where they are, but it's not going to be easy. It's just not easy to do that given the huge overhaul that's taken place. So that's the latest on Arteta's new contract and my thoughts on it. Other talking points from the press conference, he spoke a lot about Emile Smith Rowe and the fact that goals are happening. He said he needs, he doesn't know there's any specific one reason for the sort of upturn in Smith Rowe's numbers this season. He just thinks he now feels settled and feels loved, and he's at a club that he's very much appreciated, and that he's always had the talent to do this. I think we all knew he did, but now it's happening on a regular basis because he just feels comfortable in his own place in the team and in his club. He's with those around him, and that's why he feels he's producing as he is. He spoke about Jack Wilshere, who's obviously completed his move to Denmark this week. Good luck to Jack. Hope it goes well for him there. He spoke about that. He said, first of all, thank you to Jack. It's been great to have him. Hopefully we've helped him a little bit as well. This group of players have given him that experience again on a daily basis of how magnificent it feels to be a football player. He was also asked, do you think that Jack's going to come back at some point at Arsenal again? And Mikel was saying, yeah, absolutely he does. He doesn't know what capacity that will be, but he said the club will always have its door open to him, and he absolutely one day sees Jack coming back in some sort of coaching capacity. But obviously Jack's now got some playing days ahead of him again, which is great because he's still so young. He needs to be playing football. It would have been ridiculous if he didn't find himself a club. Interesting move over to Denmark. I hope it goes well for him. Be a lot of Arsenal fans, I'm sure, keeping an eye on his progress between now and the end of the season. Whether he stays out there even longer remains to be seen. So that was a big part of the press conference. There was other things as well. We spoke about the Amazon documentary All or Nothing, which obviously we're getting closer and closer towards seeing at the end of the season. It will be interesting. It's been bit of a tumultuous time, is that the right word, at Arsenal recently, and there's been lots. Mikel says here, he says he was asked about it. He says it's a way of telling the people who follow us how we live. It has been it has to be natural. Nobody has to be acting. This season has been a little bit of a roller coaster for many reasons that we know about. Sometimes it's not easy because you feel observed, but you have to let it go. Certainly going to be a lot of keen eyes focused on what goes on in this Amazon documentary. How much do we see about the Aubameyang situation, for example, and lots of other things that have gone on behind the scenes, the decisions that have been made in the transfer market, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. He was asked, are we going to see a different side to you? And he said, I don't know. I am who I am when I'm angry, happy or disappointed. I don't know. I'm sure you'll know more about me, that's for sure. So yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting one, the Amazon documentary. I know that lots of you are excited about seeing that, and not too long to go now. Hopefully we get to see the behind the scenes of Arsenal qualifying for the Champions League, but a long way to go with that, 3 months in fact. The Wolves game tomorrow is, as I said at the start, it's a massive one, no doubt about it. I will be at the game, so keep your eyes peeled for the usual stuff before and after if I get time. A win would be massive for Arsenal. Tottenham's win against Man City, as I spoke about in the video I posted on Sunday, was huge, and it was obviously it feels like a bonus 3 points for Tottenham. I don't think many were expecting that, even though Tottenham have got a very, very good record when it comes to playing against Guardiola's team for some reason. But it just feels like a bonus 3 points for Tottenham, doesn't it? United went and got points as well, winning at Leeds. Wolves won against Leicester, so it was vital that Arsenal got that win against Brentford. They did just that. West Ham were the big losers in terms of the race for the top 4 at the weekend, and it's just going to be so tight. As Mikel spoke about in his press conference, he knows the importance of it. I think he started, he was talking about the players. I've just got a little bit of a quote here of what he had to say on it. He said, the players know what every game means for us. They know where we are. It's a race that will go right to the end, and it absolutely will go to the end. And these are the games against your rivals. If you can pick up these points, you think Arsenal have got to play Man United at home this between now and the end of the season. They've got to play Tottenham away. They've got to play Wolves at home. I mean, even Chelsea, I wouldn't say out. I don't think Chelsea are playing particularly well at the moment. You know, they got their last minute win at Crystal Palace at the weekend. Had they not won that, then I think Arsenal could have effectively gone above them if they'd win all their games in hand. So Chelsea, I wouldn't say are absolutely out of reach. That it's unlikely, but they're not totally out of reach. And so these games against the type of teams who you're competing with in the top 4 are going to be so important. Can you pick up these really important wins? Arsenal did that at Molineux. If they can back that up with a win at Emirates as well, then it puts a real dent in Wolves' hopes, and it puts a real boost into Arsenal's hopes. So it's a massive game for Arsenal. And team news-wise, it's looking pretty good as well. Mikel Arteta has confirmed during his press conference that there are no new injury worries for Arsenal ahead of that game. I mean, there's still 2 days to go, so something could happen between now and then. But as it stands, there's no new injury worries. Tomiyasu, we know, is back available. He didn't even have to come on against Brentford, so he'd have had another few days training. I expect Tomiyasu will start. I'd be surprised if he doesn't, if Cedric keeps his spot. I think Cedric's done very well, no doubt about that. Mikel Arteta praised that actually during the press conference. But I think now Tomiyasu's fit. He's had a few more days to be prepared. I think he comes back into the team against Wolves on Thursday night. Gabriel Martinelli, we know, is back available after his suspension following that red card in the game at Wolves. So, Arsenal are in very good shape, injury and team news-wise. And that's going to be if they keep that between now and the end of the season, then that's going to be a massive bonus for them, because we know the squad is pretty light. It's not the biggest anymore because of what went on during the January transfer window. A lot of players let go, and so that'll be really important. But in terms of the Wolves game, all looking good for that. And it's just a few decisions to make for Arteta, like I said about the Tomiyasu and Cedric one, and then what do you do in terms of Smith Rowe and Gabriel Martinelli? Martinelli has had that place; it's been his for a while now. He got the ban against Wolves. Missed out at the weekend against Brentford. Smith Rowe came back into the team, was brilliant, scored a goal, was great. Do you keep Smith Rowe in the team now, or do you bring Martinelli back in? That's a big choice for Mikel to make. Personally, I think Smith Rowe stays in. I'd be surprised if he drops back to the bench again. I think Martinelli's going to have to bide his time. I think just having those two, especially one of those two options on the bench, is great as well, because both of those are the sort of players that can come on for the last half an hour and really hurt a team. So whether it be Smith Rowe, we've seen that, him coming off the bench before, coming on and making a difference, scoring a goal. And you think Martinelli as well, when players are tired, teams are tired, you're going to throw Martinelli on for the last half hour, 25 minutes. It could cause all sorts of problems. So it's a good option for Mikel to have that one. And I just think personally that Martinelli's going to have to bide his time now and wait for a little bit of an opportunity, just as Smith Rowe has done. So I think he'll probably be on the bench. Other than that, I think it'll be the same team that we saw against Brentford, and I can't see too many surprises between now and the end of the season, to be honest. If everyone's fit and available, I think we can pretty much pick who the starting 11 will be. That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate your time as always. I'll try and get a video done tomorrow before the game in the morning, looking a little bit more in depth at the match. Again, I've got my kids around because it's half term, so it might be a struggle, but I will try and do it. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. If I don't manage to get the time, apologies, but I will try and do my usual broadcast from before the game at the Emirates tomorrow, so you can watch the warm-ups, have a bit of a conversation about the team news, and look ahead to the match. Have a great day, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.